But I am telling you, you are just wasting your money. Rodrigo is the father.
Bring me the test results first.
Tell me why these things are happening to me. I make an effort to stay away, but I always see you.
Then it must be faith that keeps on bringing us together.
I don't get why you're acting as the offended party when you are the one who provoked this.
Kimberly, tell me, why Morales?
I already told you why. He was always there for me when I needed him.
Do you have any idea what Morales means to me? He's my right-hand man.
That's the only thing you care about, don't you? It hurts more to lose Morales because you never cared about me.
Head over heels.
Nimeget airtime.
Airtel Money inakuokolea.
Really?
Yes.
Aje?
Ukiwithdraw chapa kwa Airtel Money agent inakurudishia hiyo transaction fee kama airtime.
Auntie.
Karibu.
Shosho.
Chico!
Nipotea.
Angalia hapo kwa buchari kanjia kako hapo.
Oh! Shosho!
Airtel Money makes your life kidogo better.
This is NTV.
Mtazamaji popote pale ulipo, natumai kuwa umekuwa na siku ya kufana, ikiwa ni siku ya Jumanne tarehe 23 mwezi Januari mwaka 2024. Karibu sana kwenye taarifa za NTV jioni kuanzia sasa hadi mwendo wa saa 1:30. Kuna mengi ambayo tumekuandalia, ila kwanza kabisa tunaanza na vipasho.
Tuambia ati wameambiwa if any patient is admitted, kazi imeenda.
Jaribu kunitoa kwa mashini, kunivuta, but the nurses wakanisaidia. Wakamwambia watoke. When the nurses walisema wanaanza kumrecord, akatoroka.
Vurumai ya umiliki wa shamba la hospitali Nakuru War Memorial yazidi na kuhatarisha maisha ya wagonjwa mahututi.
Na mimi na huyu Rigiji tuko na mpango, tunaelewa. Sisi tulisema, mimi na Rigiji tulisema hata hawa vijana wengine wadogo hawa tutawapatia mentorship. Lakini tukiwapatia mentorship waende polepole, wasitusukume sana.
Hatimaye Rais Ruto atoa kauli kuhusu mgogoro unaotokota kati ya naibu rais na mbunge Ndindi Nyoro Mlimani. Washukiwa 94 wakiongozwa na Paul Mackenzie wakanusha shtaka la kuua kwa kukusudia. Ilikuwa ni zamu ya mahakama ya Mombasa.
I think he knew in his mind that he was not going to be the candidate, and therefore decided to support William.
Somewhere was trying to sabotage my NDC.
Na leo tunapiga kisengele nyuma kuchambua Musalia Mudavadi alivyopanga kuwatoroka wanaoka wenzake Kipetero. Alipangaje tetemeko siku chache kabla ya uchaguzi?
Naitwa Nicholas Wambua, mwenzangu kuloga ishara ni David Agondoa. Taarifa kamili. Mahakama ya Nakuru imemwamuru kamanda wa polisi katika kaunti hiyo Samuel Ndanyi kufanikisha usimamizi wa hospitali ya War Memorial kurejea hospitalini baada ya maafisa kutoka kaunti ya Nakuru kuvamia hospitali hiyo alfajiri ya leo na kuwafukuza wahudumu wa afya huku wakiwahamisha wagonjwa waliokuwa wamelazwa. Mwanahabari wetu Ruth Sarmui anatufungulia taarifa za NTV jioni.
Maafisa wa polisi na wale wa kaunti ya Nakuru wanadaiwa kuvamia kituo hicho cha afya saa 9 usiku wa kuamkia leo.
They came and picked us out at around 2:46 a.m. in the morning and some staff were beaten actually.
Uvamizi huo ulitukia saa chache kabla ya usimamizi wa hospitali hiyo na kaunti ya Nakuru kutakiwa kufika mahakamani kwa kusikizwa kwa kesi dhidi ya umiliki wa shamba hilo lililoibua tetesi. Naibu msajili wa mahakama ya Nakuru Priska Nyota alizuiliwa kuingia kukagua hali hospitalini humo kwa muda wa takriban dakika 30 kabla ya kuruhusiwa licha ya kuwa na agizo la mahakama. Wagonjwa 19 waliokuwa wamelazwa katika hospitali hiyo walihamishwa kuelekea vituo vingine na wengine kuruhusiwa kwenda nyumbani.
LSK, we are collecting evidence on possible violation on human rights because the right to healthcare is a constitutional right.
Mahakama sasa imeonya kaunti ya Nakuru dhidi ya kukiuka maagizo ya mahakama miezi mitatu baada ya kutoa onyo sawia kuhusiana na kesi hii.
Court orders must be obeyed. If you are aggrieved by an order, you have a right to appeal to the higher court.
Ruth Sarmui, NTV, Nakuru.
Tume ya huduma kwa walimu nchini TSC inasema itawatuma walimu wengine 17 katika shule ya upili ya Mtakatifu Gabriel Songo Kakamega baada ya mazungumzo na makubaliano na wabunge. Uamuzi huo unajiri chini ya wiki moja baada ya TSC kuhamisha walimu 17 kutoka shule hiyo kufuatia uvamizi uliofanywa na wanabodaboda na wazazi waliomfurusha mwalimu mkuu kwa kutumia silaha za kutisha wakilalamikia matokeo duni ya mtihani kwa taifa wa kidato cha 4 yani KCSE. Waziri wa elimu Ezekiel Machogu alikuwa ametoa muda wa wiki moja kwa maafisa wake kurejesha hali shwari shuleni humo.
The entire leadership of Kakamega County, including the Honorable Member from Mumias East, Honorable Peter Salasia, have unreservedly tendered the apology to the principal, all teachers in the Republic, the Teacher Service Commission, and the people of Kenya over the unfortunate incident that occurred at St. Gabriel Isongo Secondary School. Political leadership of Kakamega County will conduct sensitization programs to educate the members of the community on proper channels of raising their grievances.
As a result of our deliberations, I wish to announce that the Commission.
Washukiwa wa mauaji ya halaiki kule Shakahola leo wamekanusha mashtaka ya mauaji ya kukusudia katika mahakama ya Mombasa. Washukiwa hao 94 wakiongozwa na mhubiri Tata Paul Mackenzie walifikishwa mbele ya hakimu mkuu Alex Ithuku wakituhumiwa kutekeleza unyama huo dhidi ya wafuasi 238 wa kanisa la Good News International. Wiki iliyopita washukiwa hao pia walikana tuhuma za ugaidi na itikadi kali, wakitarajiwa pia kufikishwa mahakamani siku Alhamisi wiki hii kushtakiwa kwa ukatili wa watoto 191. Washukiwa hao wataendelea kuzuiliwa gerezani. Siasani ni kwamba Rais William Ruto ametoa msimamo wake baada ya kimya cha muda kutokana na mjadala ambao umekuwa ukiendelea kwamba mbunge wa Kiharu Ndindi Nyoro apewe nafasi ya kuwa naibu wake ifikapo uchaguzi wa mwaka 2027. Rais Ruto ameomba viongozi kutojihusisha na siasa za mapema, huku Waziri Kithure Kindiki ambaye pia jina lake limetajwa akijitenga na mjadala huo.
Mimi na huyu Rigiji tuko na mpango, tunaelewa. Sisi tulisema, mimi na Rigiji tulisema hata hawa vijana wengine wadogo hawa tutawapatia mentorship. Lakini tukiwapatia mentorship waende polepole, wasitusukume sana. Si ndio? Si tuko tayari, tumesema tutamenta hawa vijana. So wasituharakishe, wala unajua wakituharakisha sasa wataharibu maneno.
Hatutaki mtu yeyote ambaye anaweza kugawanya watu kwa misingi ya kikaunti. Katika hii region yetu ya Mount Kenya, we don't want anybody kujaribu kugawanya watu wetu along county lines. Ati hii ni watu ya Murang'a, hii ni watu ya Nyeri, hii ni watu ya Kiambu. That is retrogressive politics which we don't want in this area.
Mtazamaji, haya ndiyo yajayo kwenye sehemu ya pili ya taarifa za NTV jioni baada ya mapumziko mafupi. Je, Mudavadi alipangaje kuwazuzua kisha kuwatoroka vinara wenza wa OKA kabla uchaguzi mkuu wa mwaka jana? Tuna undani.
Welcome to the Delight Nakuru, brought to you by Username Investments. Perfect for your dream home investment for holiday home, going only for 799,000 shillings for 1/8 of an acre. SMS Nakuru to 20321 or call 0725 000 222.
Nivea Lunas visibly reduces dark spots. Does it really work? Trust me. For post-acne marks too? Of course. World's #1 anti-spot expert serum, now for post-acne dark marks and age spots. Visible results in just 2 weeks. That means also for my age spots. Already worked for over 1 million women. Nivea Lunas 630. It works.
Nimeget airtime.
Airtel Money inakuokolea.
Really?
Yes.
Aje?
Ukiwithdraw chapa kwa Airtel Money agent inakurudishia hiyo transaction fee kama airtime.
Auntie.
Karibu.
Shosho.
Shiko!
Nipotea.
Angalia hapo kwa buchari kanjia kako hapo.
Oh! Shosho!
Airtel Money makes your life kidogo better.
I will be very delighted to do the test for you. But I am telling you, you are just wasting your money. Rodrigo is the father.
Bring me the test results first.
Tell me why these things are happening to me. I make an effort to stay away, but I always see you.
Then it must be faith that keeps on bringing us together.
I don't get why you're acting as the offended party when you are the one who provoked this.
Kimberly, tell me, why Morales?
I already told you why. He was always there for me when I needed him.
Do you have any idea what Morales means to me? He's my right-hand man.
That's the only thing you care about, don't you? It hurts more to lose Morales because you never cared about me.
Head over heels.
Karibu tena. Imebainika kuwa mwelekezo wa Rais mstaafu Uhuru Kenyatta kwa viongozi wa One Kenya Alliance wasitishe azma zao za rais na kumunga mkono Raila Odinga, kando na msimamo wa Odinga kuwa iwapo siye basi angempendekeza gavana wa zamani Wycliffe Oparanya kama mgombea urais, ndio uliokuwa chanzo cha mpasuko na tofauti zilizopelekea Musalia Mudavadi kuigura OKA na kuungana na William Ruto kwenye mrengo wa Kenya Kwanza. Miaka miwili kamili baada ya Musalia kufanya uamuzi huo uliotwika jina earthquake na uliotikisa siasa za Kenya, mwanahabari wetu wa masuala ya siasa Ibrahim Karanja amerejelea siku hiyo na kuandaa taarifa tetemeko la Musalia. Tazama.
To be honest, Kenya Kwanza was a title that through ANC we had registered with the Register of Political Parties.
As ANC?
Yes. And it resonated well with the people. It was a very simple message.
Barua hii kutoka kwa msajili wa vyama Ann Nderito kwa Geoffrey Kanoti, mshauri wa kisiasa wa Musalia Mudavadi, ikithibitisha uhifadhi wa jina hilo, Kenya Kwanza Alliance.
So we were having OKA here, but also on the sideline or under the table we had our Kenya Kwanza certificate. We knew that we will need to move
Because as I told you, our resolve was we must run for president.
It was on the understanding that going forward, we have reached the politics where coalition building is going to be quite central in Kenya's politics.
Tazama hili. Ungamo hili la Musalia na Kanoti kuwa Kenya Kwanza ilisajiliwa kitambo, huku Oka ikiendelea na shughuli zake ilidhihirika kwenye siku ya siku. Kwenye hotuba ya Musalia Mudavadi alilitaja jina hilo Kenya Kwanza angalau mara 3, ilhali muungano huo haukuwa umetangazwa rasmi kwa Wakenya.
We would like to recommend that the principles around uchumi bora, pesa mfukoni, as put out in the NC manifesto, become a guiding principle for our foreign policy, and indeed to make us put Kenya Kwanza in whatever we do and whatever we negotiate.
Na siku mbili baadaye kwenye kampeni yao ya kwanza kwenye uwanja wa maonesho ya kilimo Nakuru, William Ruto akaweka wazi ushirikiano wao kupitia jina Kenya Kwanza.
Timu yetu hii ambayo ni timu ya Kenya Kwanza, tunasema kwa vijana wetu wa Kenya na kwa Wakenya.
It was not by accident. The fact that we were speaking before, or he was in talks with William Ruto, should tell you that the reference to Kenya Kwanza was not by accident.
Lakini je, uhusiano kati ya Ruto na Musalia kisiasa, haswa kwa ajili ya uchaguzi huo wa mwaka 2022 ulianza lini? Na iweje kwamba uhusiano ulisalia kuwa serikali licha ya makundi ya watu wenye ushawishi kuwa na asasi za serikali ambazo zingepata taarifa?
We would talk once in a while on various issues, but not very often on matters politics, because I was running my campaign, he was running his campaign. But closer to the earthquake, we engaged a little more.
At the time there was speculation in 2021, there was actually nothing. But towards the end of 2021, that discussion began quietly for obvious reasons.
You remember I went to the wedding of his family wedding? I know it rattled so many people. Some were shocked. But that is maturity.
The working between Musalia and Ruto did not begin like just the week 2, the earthquake. You remember way back, you saw Barack Muluka leaving and Owalo leaving and joining. William Ruto. Yes. The president, the deputy president at that time was reaching out. He had already reached out to us, he had already reached out to Musalia, but at that time, our resolve was to run for president.
We talked about what we think, where the country is going. And I told him that as much as we may have different political situations, I think it's also important that as Kenyans we can engage, and we should engage.
We had some of the MPs who already knew something had happened, and his deputy, Ayub Savula, was the first one to alert us and to walk out. He was not the only ANC member of parliament who left Musalia. We had Navulindo of Matungu. We had the Butere MP Tindi Mwale. We had all these other MPs moving out, including Bishop Hamala. They came to DAP. We had started our new party, and they felt that they were not in support of William Ruto's presidency, and they were more aligned to DAP and to Raila's candidature. So it wasn't a surprise to us.
How early was this?
Quite early, because at some point you could notice some double speak from them. They were with us in BBI, they were not with us at some point. Then eventually they moved.
Ningependa sasa, with your permission, Your Excellency, kualika.
Wanaotizama kwa jicho la tatu wanasema mawingu yalianza kukunga kabla ya mwaka 2021 kwenye mchakato wa BBI.
My understanding is that the BBI is bigger than sharing political positions. So can we focus as Kenyans and get there? And let us all interrogate. And Your Excellency, the economy. What is ailing us? The economy. What is ailing us? The economy. What is ailing us? The economy.
He said it as he saw it. Many people never paid keen interest to what Musalia was saying then. But on hindsight now, if you replayed what he said in Bomas, then you would see he was saying it as he saw it.
Some of us who are close to them were aware that they were with us during the day, but at night they were with William. And ultimately, when they made the decision at Bomas, it was not an earthquake really, because we knew what to expect.
Lakini licha ya kucheza hapa kule kwenye mchakato huo wa BBI, Mudavadi hatimaye alitia saini na kuyaunga mkono marekebisho ya kikatiba kama alivyokuwa akitaka rais wakati huo Uhuru Kenyatta. Hili likimfanya Mudavadi kuonekana kama kikaragosi cha Kenyatta ambaye angefanya kila anachoambiwa na rais, na hilo likaweka imani kuwa mwelekeo wake wa uchaguzi mwaka 2022 ungeelekezwa na Rais Kenyatta. Huku akizungumza chini na William Ruto ambaye kwa wakati huo alionekana mwanasiasa mpweke aliyekuwa tu na uungwaji mkono wa wanasiasa wachanga, Musalia Mudavadi bado aliendelea kuhudhuria hafla za One Kenya Alliance. Mchakato kati yao wakati huo ilikuwa kutambua ni nani atakayepeperusha bendera ya muungano wao kwenye uchaguzi na kumrithi Kenyatta. Walijigamba kuwa mgombea wao atawachana William Ruto na Raila Odinga kwa pamoja. Mnamo tarehe 18 Agosti mwaka 2021, Rais Kenyatta akaita mkutano na viongozi wa vyama vya kisiasa kwenye ikulu ya Mombasa ili kujadili watakavyomkabili Ruto, japo kuwa ujumbe rasmi kutoka ikulu ulikuwa kwamba mkutano huo ulijadili masuala ya umoja na amani kabla, wakati na baada ya uchaguzi mkuu ambao ulikuwa ukijongea.
It's that meeting in Mombasa that broke the pot, whereby now Uhuru insisted he would support Raila as a candidate, and Raila was asked if he had any other alternative apart from himself. He was opting, he could only go for, maybe for Oparanya. And Oparanya was not part of the delegates that were supposed to go to State House. He was not even a principal at that time, but Raila had come along with him. He wasn't going to support His Excellency Mudavadi. I think for him, that was a ticket gone. And so he was going to choose somebody of a lesser power or a lesser following or influence, so that now they say the whole thing cannot work.
Ishara na kauli za Musalia zilianza kubadilika. Disemba mwaka 2021, ishara zikaanza kuwa kubwa na wazi. Tarehe 10 Disemba, kwenye uga wa Kasarani hapa jijini Nairobi, Musalia akakataa kuhudhuria mkutano wa Azimio ulionuiwa kutangaza ugombeaji wa Odinga. Vilevile Kalonzo Musyoka na Moses Wetangula walihususia mkutano huo, wakimwacha Gideon Moi pekee akihudhuria mkutano huu. Siku chache baadaye, kwenye mkutano wa sherehe za kitamaduni za Vihiga, tarehe 26 Disemba, Mudavadi aliyasema haya.
If you thought that I am always predictable, I want to tell Kenyans that in the year 2022, I'm going to be extremely unpredictable.
Siku tano baada ya kauli hii, mambo yakaanza kubadilika. Cleopas Malala, wakati huo mwandani wa karibu zaidi wa Mudavadi, akaandaa finali za Cleo Malala Super Cup huko Mumias na kumwalika William Ruto kama mgeni wa heshima. Japo Mudavadi hakuhudhuria hafla hiyo, ilikuwa na maana na ujumbe mkali sana. Siku hiyo mrengo unaomuunga mkono Odinga, ukiongozwa na katibu wa KOTU Francis Atwoli, ulikuwa Kakamega mjini kwenye uwanja wa Buhungu kwa kile kilichojulikana kama Buhungu 2, na hapa nia ilikuwa kumuunga mkono Odinga. Vile vile Musalia hakuhudhuria mkutano huo. Lakini licha ya ishara zote hizi kwamba mambo hayakuwa sawa, OKA iliandaa mkutano Elementaita tarehe 21 mwezi Januari kwa kile kilichoaminika kuwa ni kutangaza mgombea wao. Musalia Mudavadi hakuhudhuria mkutano huo.
I do not think Brother Musalia is the type of person who would be wooed at night and not say it during the day. He says it as it is.
I believed exactly what I said. But with a bit of hindsight, I was wrong. There are lots of consultations that were happening. I think he knew in his mind that he was not going to be the candidate, and therefore decided to support William.
So, how would I have gone to a conference in Elementaita, make a decision on who is going to be the presidential candidate, and then go and call an NDC convention, and then have me declared as the candidate for ANC, and on the other side you have made a decision that maybe is somebody else? Don't you see mischief in that game? So somebody somewhere was trying to sabotage my NDC.
Ilipofika siku ya mkutano wa kitaifa wa wajumbe wa chama cha ANC, taifa lilikuwa likisubiri tangazo hili ambalo Musalia aliashiria lingetikisa taifa. Kama ilivyokuwa kawaida yao, vinara wenza wa OKA walihudhuria mkutano huo wa Bomas, na ghafla Benvu wakaanza kuingia wajumbe wanaohusishwa na William Ruto na chama chake cha UDA. Ikawa wazi kuwa yashamwagika maji ya OKA na ni vigumu kuyazoa. Muda mchache baadaye, William Ruto akaingia na Kalonzo Musyoka, Gideon Moi na Jimmy Wanjigi wakaondoka ukumbini.
KANU had a chance. They made their invitation. They invited whoever they wanted to come. The rest is history. You know who was in attendance. You know who was the guest of honor. It happened. Then we had the wiper, NDC. They had the engagement, they had the invitation list. It went on, we attended. Yeah, that is impunity. It's arrogance. I have attended your NDCs, you have invited who you wanted to invite. But when it's my turn to have mine, you purport that you want to determine who should be my guest. Now, the earthquake was a moment of getting people to unshackle themselves from this feeling that in Kenya's politics, there must be a pariah, okay? There must be the damned and those who are not damned.
Excuse me, sir, why are you leaving? We were not involved in planning the NDC. Excuse me, sir? We were invited quietly.
Excuse me, sir, why are you leaving?
No, we came to congratulate MM.
Yes.
And we have congratulated him.
But why are you not staying for the rest of the function?
We have congratulated him.
That was
That's
it?
why we came.
Our political leaders must be men and women who can stand their ground and not allow themselves to be intimidated. And trust me, they sprinted out of Bomas because they never wanted the powers that be then to see them associating in any way with us.
Now we saw the seating arrangement, we checked and we were told they were expecting William Ruto.
For them to have been placed in the same conference with William Ruto, I think they suffered a lot of discomfort and they had to leave.
So I remember actually Weta walked me out. And I remember telling Weta, my friend, since our brother Musalia has gone, you have a very unique opportunity to rally the community of Western Kenya behind you. Please don't let that go.
So, just come. You see, Ruto seat was next to me.
But then similarly, then he followed. You remember the story of Lot, Lot's wife.
It's when I discovered who are really my friends. It was a moment of awakening.
Indeed, the country is going to experience the earthquake.
Ibrahim Karanja, NTV.
Mtazamaji, taarifa hii itakuwa kwenye gazeti la Daily Nation siku ya kesho, vile vile kwenye tovuti www.ntvkenya.co.ke. Itakuwa unapata tena kwa kina mwendo wa saa 3 katika taarifa zetu za kimombo. Sasa tupate ajayo katika sehemu ya michezo. Awamu ya 3 ya mbio za nyika za Sirikwa Classic kufanyika Uasin Gishu mwakani.
Welcome to the Delight Nakuru, brought to you by Username Investments. Perfect for your dream home, investment for holiday home, going only for 799,000 shillings for 1/8 of an acre. SMS Nakuru to 20321 or call 0725 000 222.
Who is a true partner? They go out of their way to help you. They do not hesitate to go the extra mile. And they're always there standing beside you. They step in when you need them the most. Because a true partner is a partner kwa ground. KCB Bank.
It's Friday and things are looking a bit boring. Fanta. Submit to the fizziest of fizz. Surrender to a bubbly bliss. Fall for the tangiest of tangs. Succumb to the flavor frenzy. Fanta. Indulge with a sip and snack.
It's time to get stepping. Step up to your most loved content and enjoy the next level upgrade for free.
Respect that.
Upgrade now and step up to even more action. Step up to more football. Step up to more local drama. Step up to more fun and get more than you pay for. Upgrade now and get boosted to the next package for free. Dial *423# or call 0711 066 000 and upgrade to the next level for free.
Taarifa za spoti. Zaidi ya wanariadha 25 kutoka nchi 10 wamejiandikisha kushiriki katika mbio za nyika za Sirikwa Classic wikendi ijayo katika eneo la Lobo, eneo bunge la Kapseret, kaunti ya Uasin Gishu. Akizungumza katika makao makuu ya Golazo hapa Nairobi, mkurugenzi wa mbio hizo Barnabas Korir alifichua kuwa tukio la mwaka huu limewavutia washiriki kutoka Afrika Mashariki, Uingereza, Afrika Kusini, Ukraine, Norway, Morocco, Romania na Bahrain. Wageni hao watakuwa na mlima wa kupanda dhidi ya Kenya wakiongozwa na mshindi wa medali ya fedha ya kilomita 5 duniani Lilian Kasait na mshindi wa medali ya shaba wa mbio za nyika za ulimwengu chini ya miaka 20 Pamela Kosgei miongoni mwa wengine.
Testament to Deto's commitment and the active role in supporting young sportsmen and women on their journey to success. In the years to come, they will probably carry the Kenyan flag to the global stage as they have always been.
This year is also going to be as big as it should have been before. So it is very important for us to ensure that we encourage corporates to come on board, and we are really excited and happy.
Mtazamaji, basi taarifa hii inatufungia taarifa zetu za NTV jioni kwa siku leo. Nasema ni asante sana kujiunga nasi kuanzia mwanzo hadi sasa tamati. Wote ambao wamefanikisha taarifa hizi wakiongozwa na Lofty Matambo, Jonte Kanyax na wote, basi nasema ni asanteni sana. Mimi naitwa Nicholas Wambua, mwenzangu kwa lugha ishara imekuwa ni David Agondoa. Alamsiki.
This is NTV. Step up to more fun and get more than you pay for. Upgrade now and get boosted to the next package for free. Dial *423# or call 0711 066 000 and upgrade to the next level for free.
The moment I feel my pain starting to fade, it's like I'm going back to myself on a really good day.
Panadol Extra releases you from strong pain. Panadol, release starts here.
Oh yeah, Ebu cheki Mashakura John. Well, that's what his friends call him. Usually, they will do anything to avoid his cooking, manze. Surprise, surprise! No more Mashakura John, thanks to new Royco herbs and spices. Spicika na Royco.
This is NTV.
Business Redefined in association with KCB.
Welcome to this edition of Business Redefined. As always, your weekly, most comprehensive look at the world of business, finance, and economics. Now, last week, the International Monetary Fund Executive Board met on the conclusion of the 6th review of Kenya's ongoing program with the fund. They released their report. The program has been augmented or increased in size by a staggering $941 million. That's about 151 billion Kenya shillings. And with that, the size of the program now stands at 4.43 billion US dollars. It has also been extended in duration up till April 2025. I sat down with the IMF Mission Chief to Kenya, that's Madam Haimanot Tefera, and the starting point of our conversation was whether this augmentation now takes Kenya to IMF's exceptional window of access and what that means for you and I.
The augmentation request, which, you know, when we were on the discussions in November, the authorities have, you know, asked for us to consider bringing the request of augmentation of the program. And this augmentation of the ongoing program is about 942 million US dollars. This is at the current exchange rate, or today's exchange rate. And this would bring the total access under the IMF program, including credit outstanding, into the exceptional access territory, right? So it's in this context is what the today's board on January 17, the IMF Executive Board approved the request of the augmentation, as well as completion of the 6th review along with the RSF review and the completion of the Article 4 discussion. You know, exceptional access criteria, I think, you know, there are several requirements, of which is also strong policies to, you know, navigate Kenya out of the liquidity pressures they're facing currently, and ensuring that the policies that are being put in place now ensures that, you know, the medium prospects are stronger and builds confidence. So, you know, it's just that the exposure of the fund to the country as it gets larger, then the policies also are commensurate in that sense. But then also, of course, there are specific technical requirements and assessment that has to be done, including, is this, exceptional balance of payment pressure? Are there adequate safeguards to fund resources? Are the authorities have the capacity and the commitment to deliver on policies? There's several, and then also their ability to access markets, to go back to markets, the prospects of that. All those things are conditions that we have looked at to provide assurances that the fund can support the country.
The third and largest augmentation of Kenya's program with the IMF is designed to ensure the economy can comfortably service the lumpy debt service obligations falling due mid this year. The $2 billion Eurobond is expected to come to maturity on the 24th of June. I asked the IMF mission chief to Kenya whether the global markets are easing fast enough to enable Kenya to go back to the global markets for refinancing of the Eurobond.
I guess, in the past 2 months, spreads on Kenya's outstanding Eurobonds have eased, but they're still higher than where they were, say, in the early 2022, right? And the global interest rates remain elevated, making it very costly for Kenya to access the bond market to refinance the full $2 billion Eurobond ahead of its maturity in June. And hence, approval by the IMF of Executive Board today of additional financing from the fund to support Kenya during these uncertain times for frontier economies, not just Kenya, but pretty much, all the frontier economies are facing difficulty in effective access to the bond market. But again, this is also, the additional funding that's coming from the fund is a recognition that what Kenya faces is a liquidity problem. Although they're implementing very important and strong policies and commitment to ensure that Kenya navigates out of this and realizes its strong potential in the medium term. So it's in that context that actually the augmentation that is approved today is also to support this pressures on the balance of payment coming out of this Eurobond maturity in the near term.
The restructuring of state-owned enterprises has been a key reform agenda under Kenya's IMF program. When I sat down with the mission chief, that was part of the conversation. How far are we with the restructuring around national flag carriers, Kenya Airways, which, by the way, is now back to operating profit? Where are we with the restructuring around Kenya Power and Lighting Company? These two entities have the taxpayer exposed significantly to what have been called fiscal liability. This was her take.
In general, I think there are progress related to SOU reform agenda, although it happens to be very slow. On KPLC, as you know, the cabinet has approved an action plan in May 2023 to help to improve its financial position. And we understand that the KPLC board has approved a plan to implement this and has also approved a fair representation of the private sector and KPLC's board, which should help strengthen the corporate governance in that respect. On KQ, we understand the authorities are seeking cabinet's guidance and have committed to come up with strategic options by April this year. So that's, and we will have a discussion now in the context of our next review mission, in terms of the progress and, what the strategic options are and what has been decided. But it's also important to note that the government has been servicing KQ's guaranteed external debts since the third quarter of last year, and because this has been called on the government. And then generally in terms of the reform of governance and oversight of state corporations, this is progressing. The new ownership policy is an important milestone, as you know, that has been approved, and the authorities are also updating financial evaluation of state corporations, and they're also undertaking comprehensive assessment of the national government's continued involvement in state corporation and government-linked corporations. So, it's all important to have a better oversight, but this work is still progressing.
The sixth review of Kenya's program was an unusually loaded agenda. We had the review of the extended credit facility and the extended fund facility on one side. We had the review of the now new resilience and sustainability facility, which is targeted at climate sustainability, doing the first review as well, and we also had Article 4 consultations. So I asked the mission chief for the IMF just how this heavy laden agenda was navigated by the fund.
So the meeting is, has several folds. It's the 6th review of the ongoing EFF, ECF supported program. That's the 6th review. It is the authorities' request for augmentation of financing under the program. It's also the first review of the RSF program and the Article 4 consultation. So it was a loaded meeting. Now, and just to mention that obviously this is a discussion also, not just the financing, but also the policies in terms of the performance so far under the programs, what have they done, the authorities, in terms of their commitment, and then also thinking about the way forward in terms of meeting the program's objective for the future. And then the Article 4, of course, looks at more of a medium, long-term kind of view in terms of things that are complementary to the program, but also that are outside the program where, some structural issues and general overview of the economy. As you know, at the time of the 5th review was the RSF that was approved, and there are a number of reform measures that the authorities were planning to do under this instrument, specifically trying to address climate finance, right? So one of the reforms that is slated for this review, they have already completed it, and it is going to, this will unlock the resources associated with that. Each reform measure has, certain amount associated. Maybe I don't have the top of my head, but they really have a good start on the RSF implementation, and it seems that going forward also the plans are progressing.
On the 7th of December 2023, the Executive Board of the IMF temporarily increased access limits of financing under the Poverty Reduction and Growth Trust that targets enhanced financing for vulnerable economies such as Kenya. So I asked the IMF mission chief whether Kenya sought to trigger its access under this revision of the limits.
So this change in the policy, basically what it would mean is it would allow countries like Kenya, which have what we call a blended access from the PRGT and GRA, would allow them to have, to change the composition of financing, from the fund more tilted towards the PRGT, which is the IMF's concessional financing instrument. Kenya is eligible to tap into the temporary higher access limit under this new increase in the PRGT under the ongoing ECF program arrangement. However, at the time of reaching agreement with us in November on the financing and policy mix to bring the 6th review to the board, this decision was not, was not made, and this option was not available. But subsequent to the decision on December 17, we have had a discussion with the authority on the consideration of what this would entail for them to tap this. But given there's a different policy calibration adjustment that is required under a different financing mix, the authorities chose not to pursue this at this time.
There's a kind of bank assurance intermediary that really allows you to relax because you know you'll be good. That's Coop Bank Assurance Intermediary for you. Get covered real good through Coop Bank Assurance Intermediary.
And we need 2 Royco cubes because iron gives you strength to sukuma yourself to be the best you can be.
Sukuma na Royco, kula sukuma na Royco, sukuma wiki na Royco.
Lakini vile hii ekonomi imetufinya, ilinibidi kubadilisha sabuni nikatumia ingine rahisi. Bala, ilibidi nioshe kila kitu mara 2. Sikuwa na otherwise, nikarudia Ariel.
Ariel, usafi bora kwa mwosho mmoja tu.
You are watching Business Redefined in association with KCB.
The pricing of petroleum products in the country has been one of the sticky issues under the IMF program, especially because of the question of the use of the subsidy, which was retired by the Kenya Kwanza administration. When I sat down with the mission chief, the question was whether Kenya did adhere to the October 31st, 2023 sunset date of submitting a new pricing formula for petroleum products in the country.
Okay, so I think maybe it's good to clarify that the structural benchmark was on a review of how the fuel pricing formula worked over the last few years, and communication of elimination of subsidies along with mechanism to ensure that future domestic fuel prices, price decisions are aligned with budgeted resources at all times. So really the program conditionality or the discussion that we have, it did not envisage a change of actual pricing formula. The objective is really to ensure that fuel price subsidy arrears do not re-emerge going forward, and really to make sure that first, that there are resources available, and this is through the Petroleum Development Levy, when needed to stabilize pump prices. So it is in that context where, even though the timeline was October, this was, it took longer than, we anticipated, given the task force looking into this have taken its time to make a decision, and had communicated in a press release, I believe on December 11th, which concludes the objective of the benchmark.
The wild depreciation of the shilling in 2023 stole the headlines for weeks, and when I sat down with the IMF mission chief, that was part of our conversation. 2 things I sought to know. First is, what is the IMF's view of the present valuation of the shilling against major currencies? And secondly, what is the assessment of the modernization of Kenya's monetary policy framework, given that it was part of the agreements when Kenya was entering the IMF deal in 2021?
So, we, as part of the Article 4, we do make an assessment of Kenya's external position in 2023, and it has been assessed to be broadly aligned with its medium-term economic fundamentals and desired policies as per, the external sector assessment that we do. The depreciation over the past year actually reflects a greater role played by the exchange rate in responding to external shocks and the balance of payment pressures that the country is facing. And we believe that this has helped engender the needed adjustment in the current account balance, which, if you look at the previous assessment, shows a gap. And this has, the adjustment has helped in terms of narrowing the current account balance and improving Kenya's external buffers in terms of adequate reserves. So I think, it is a reflection of exchange rate playing its role as the shock absorber, which is, coming from the external environment. I think the CBK's efforts at further modernizing the monetary policy operation framework, including the introduction of the D-House CSD and the tightening of monetary policy even more recently, are all welcome developments. Inflation has eased but remains sticky near the upper bound of the target band. It's very important to remain, proactive for the central bank, given the risk to price stability, especially from the volatile global prices, but also pass through from exchange rate depreciation. So I think, the efforts that we see so far has really considerably helped in terms of creating the price stability needed in the economy.
After 8 years of waiting, the Cabinet finally sanctioned the setup and operationalization of the Treasury Single Account as envisioned in the Public Finance Management Act. I asked the IMF Mission Chief what this means for Kenya from a public finance management standpoint and what advice the fund has for the country given the experience seen in markets such as Ghana, Nigeria and Tanzania.
Treasury single account is really, the approval of this is an important decision, particularly to strengthen the management of public finances, which is a welcome development from our perspective. So the implementation of a TSA would, once this is fully implemented, will enable the National Treasury to effectively manage government cash balances and enabling them, to have fungibility of the cash resources and avoiding additional interest payments. In general, avoiding borrowing when idle funds are sitting in accounts kept outside of the TSA. So I think this is a very important decision. So as successful as you asked, implementation of this reform would require a very strong collaboration among main stakeholders, the National Treasury, CBK, counties and extra budgetary agencies, as well as a streamlined plan on the implementation. A step-by-step approach will be needed. The implementation of TSA also requires a full inventory of all government bank accounts with commercial banks and CBK, particularly with information related to their nature and purposes. As the National Treasury has committed and achieving it trying to achieve it by March 2024, the inventory and classification of public entities and those that are operating for commercial purposes, but also that operate on a cost recovery basis, right? This what we call the extra budgetary agencies. And this would actually be part of a way to help implement the TSA, the approved TSA, because the TSA should not include public entities that operate on commercial activities, right? So this structural benchmark we have for the March will actually support the efforts in the implementation of the TSA. The implementation of the TSA also should be supported by the Integrated Financial Management Information System, the IFMIS, and this may require not only technical assistance, but additional resources which should be adequately and appropriately budgeted in the budget. And then maybe finally, lastly, is we understand that the NT is in the final stages of formulating its PFM reform strategy. And the implementation of the TSA should be clearly outlined in the strategy with concrete milestones and tasks for the government, for government institutions. And that would be what would allow the TSA to be, appropriately and fully implemented. I think, that could be an issue that may arise. And I think, I think expectations, banks will adjust also with the expectations, what they know, when they know what it means, right? But I think at the end of the day, also it addresses a lot of, the issues that comes from management of, the central government's management of liquidity as well. So it's a clear communication and expectations can, then will help them also manage their liquidity. But what's important is, it is challenging times. I think the external environment for frontier economies hasn't been, easy in the recent times, and I think Kenya is exposed to that, and I think the policy adjustments and the need to rely more on domestic revenue mobilization and ensuring that the decline in the tax to GDP ratio that we've observed over the years gets reversed, but also thinking about that the tax regime evolves to be equitable and fair. I think can deliver the capacity that Kenya can mobilize its own resources and meeting its needs.
And that brings us to the close of this discussion on Business Redefined, where we have been focusing on the 6th review of Kenya's IMF program, whose highlight was the outsized augmentation of the program by $941.2 million, which of course has taken Kenya into the IMF's exceptional access window, which means we have almost a blank check, should I call it, to be able to address the Eurobond maturity. We keep an eye on these developments and will bring you the latest on Business Redefined.
Business Redefined in association with KCB. KCB ni yetu. For people, for better.
Step up to more fun and get more than you pay for. Upgrade now and get boosted to the next package for free. Dial *423# or call 0711 066 000 and upgrade to the next level for free.
I will be very delighted to do the test for you. But I am telling you, you are just wasting your money. Rodrigo is the father.
Bring me the test results first.
Tell me why these things are happening to me. I make an effort to stay away, but I always see you.
Then it must be faith that keeps on bringing us together.
I don't get why you're acting as the offended party when you are the one who provoked this.
Kimberly, tell me, why Morales?
I already told you why. He was always there for me when I needed him.
Do you have any idea what Morales means to me? He's my right-hand man.
That's the only thing you care about, don't you? It hurts more to lose Morales because you never cared about me.
Head over heels.
Akaniambia hii mkebe pia ni kitu ya kuringia.
Hawezi linganisha mtoto wangu na gari.
I had to come up with something to get more of his money.
I've done worse things more than lying to you that I'm pregnant.
Human behavior experts, of course relationship experts, have proved that there's a thin line between love and hate.
Hii love ilikuwa so deep even that ulikuwa willing to risk. Who is this person?
My best friend's dad.
Kuna huyu beste yangu tumekuwa marafiki.
Alinipia bili ya hospitali. Nikaona ya kwamba ni rafiki yangu wa kitu cha kwanza kabisa.
Anajua side chicks zangu.
Side chicks?
Yeah.
NTV, turning on your world. The following program has been rated PG. It may contain scenes unsuitable for children under the age of 10.
Okay.
Alex, what is going on?
Dad, Mom, Junior is Alex's biological son. Mjukuu wenu.
Diana, you are a horrible woman. How could you make up such a lie to win my parents' love?
Nashangaa. Mulianza kudate juzi tu na Alex na sasa mna mtoto. Miracle baby.
Naomba mumkubali Junior.
Kwa hivyo inamaanisha huyo mtoto ni wako na mume wangu?
Kabla niondoke kwenda France, nilikuwa mjamzito.
5 years ago? You were dating 5 years ago? Mbona siwaelewi?
Nilipogundua kuwa nina ujauzito wa Alex, niliwaza sana, ni utoe au ni ulee. Nimepitia mambo mengi sana kumlea mjukuu wenu. Mara nyingi Junior angeniuliza kuhusu babake na sikujua nimjibu nini. Na ndo maana nikasema nikirudi lazima nimtambulishe Junior kwa babake.
You are such a liar. Siwezi kuamini wewe.
Wewe ndio sababu ya mimi kuweka hii siri miaka yote hii. Wewe ni rafiki yangu na sikutaka ukasirike.
Rafiki gani? Urafiki gani wa kung'ang'ania sani moja?
Lengo lako ni kuniharibia ndoa na kuchukua mume wangu. Hapo ndo unakosea. Mimi sikukuharibia maisha, wewe ndo uliniharibia maisha yangu. Mom, Dad, mmeshamwona mjukuu wenu.
Ni ndoto gani hii?
Junior ameishi miaka 4.5 bila kumjua babake wala familia yake.
Men have been lied to before.
Kwa hiyo unataka kumkata Junior sio?
Unataka tumkubali? Hiyo ndio plani yako ya kuolewa na ndugu yangu? Sahau sana.
Alex, ongea na watu wako. Junior is your son. Damu yako.
Dad. Mom. I have to get a divorce. Ningempenda Diana na Judy wakuje kuishi nasi. Na siwezi kaa na wanawake wawili. Alisha. Naelewa uchungu wako. But this is just how life is. I have to choose my happiness. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Stupid boy, what have you done?
Dad, relationship yangu na Alisha imeganda. Mbona nibaki kwa ndoa haina hisia? Please respect my decision.
Upuzi. Umemsaliti mke wako? Umetukosea heshima? Why don't you do us all a favor and just die and go to hell? No one will cry for you.
Honey, how can you use such foul language?
Umechangia tabia zake hivi. Umemharibu?
Alex is my son. Our son.
By the way, pia wewe nyamaza.
Alex ameshaongea na nadhani kila mtu amemsikia na kumuelewa.
Yaani wewe, hauna aibu wala haya. Hebu toka.
Alex,
unamuita Alex nini? Ondoka ukajipe shughuli.
Alex,
toka.
Stacy kuhusu.
Inanihusu. Dana kama utaki shida na watu. Ondoka, Alex.
Stacy, you have no right.
Dana, toka.
Stacy, get out.
Mtu hawezi kupumzika. Ni nini?
Hatuwezi kukaa hapa na hatujui mtoto wetu yuko wapi. Twende tukamtafute.
Twende wapi?
Twende police station, hata kama ni mochari. Ikibidi tutaenda kwa wanahabari, lakini twende tumtafute mtoto wetu.
Si ungojee kwanza.
Mimi nakuona uko sawa. Umehakikisha amepata kiti? Na hivyo vitu vyake nataka viwe packed. I'll talk to you later. Bye.
Mom.
Umefanya vizuri kuja haraka.
Ama nimetatiza mipango yako?
Nilikuwa nakusubiri au nitatisi.
Onekana mwenye mawazo mengi. Kuna shida?
Kidogo. Rose. Ameonelea badala ya kwenda Lamu, sasa aende Zanzibar. Sikulala leo.
Zanzibar?
Ndiyo. Kesho.
Haraka hivyo?
Kulingana na umri wake mimi naona ni vizuri ya kisafiri, aende huko nje kwa ubongo. Labda akifika huko atafikiria pia kuendeleza masomo.
Mom, mimi...
Mwache tu aende. Sioni shida.
Umeamua kumtoa huku kwa sababu yonipenda?
Unajua mwenyewe alikuwa amesema ataenda Lamu, alafu kidogo hivi akabadilisha.
Umesema safari yake ni ya kesho?
Ndiyo. Kwa sababu nimesema nikuite, nikujulishe.
Lakini mama, safari upangwa. Haiharakishwi.
Alitaka hivyo na sikutaka kubishana naye, unamjua. So, uko busy leo? Alikuwa nataka to have dinner sote.
Hapana. It's better if I'm not around at all. Mpe salamu za heri. Mtakia safari njema.
Sawa sawa.
I'll have to go.
Hello, Dad.
Alisha, uko wapi? Jongo nyumbani haraka. Jonte ameumia.
Ameumia?
Amejifungia chumbani mwake na amekataa kutoka. Hataki kuongea na mtu.
Aya, niko njiani naja.
Sawa.
Yeah, our coffee is of international standard and we will not disappoint you. Just a minute. Sure. Yeah, our rates are so friendly. I will send you the details. Thank you. Looking forward to doing business with you. Thanks again and most welcome. Ingia.
Hi, Tony.
Natumai sijapigia kelele.
Oh, no, si vile. So boss amesema ataweza kuingia leo, ako hospitali.
Ni mgonjwa?
No. Alex ako hospitali.
Oh.
Yes. Na alikuwa kwenda conference calls 2, so amesema utamsimamia.
Conference call inahitaji link?
Yes, na amesema atakutumia na few.
Okay. Yeah. Haya basi mwambie niko tayari.
Okay. Sawa.
Nani alikugonga kichwani, Alex?
Usiniulize maswali.
Kwa nini?
Mimi ndo nataka kukuuliza wewe swali.
Swali gani?
Ulikuwa unajua Alex na Diana wako na affair? Na kama ulijua Alex na Diana wako na affair, kwa nini uliamua kunificha? Yaani uliamua tu kukanyagia hiyo story. Hivyo tu.
Jonte.
Ongea Alisha. Kwa nini ulimwacha huyo mwanaume wako wa cheat na babes wangu Diana? Babes wangu. Diana wangu.
Jonte, tulia. Kwa mpole.
Kwa nini uliacha wanicheze? Kwa nini uliwacha wanicheze sis?
Jonte, kwanza umelewa. Ebu lala alafu tutaongea ukiwa soba.
Sijalewa.
Hujalewa vipi na hii ni pombe na unanuka pombe? Mbona unakana?
Kunuka pombe sio kulewa pombe. Mimi sikaa wewe. Mimi siwezi ona mtu anafanya upuzi kama hiyo alafu nakanyagia.
Sasa kwa kuwa yakuwa yashakuwa, unataka kufa na Alex? Ushafikiria ni uchungu gani utatia watu wako?
Unajua, nilipoona Alex na Diana, the only thing on my mind ilikuwa tu tukufe sote tumkose huyo Diana.
Na sasa vile unakunywa hivi haujisaidii. Unajiumiza zaidi. Kubali tu hamwezi kuwa pamoja.
Mimi na Diana tumetoka mbali sana. Tumeishi na Diana kwa hii nyumba for 10 years. Tuliingia shule ya mapenzi pamoja na Diana. Na mimi sitakubali kufuzu bila yeye.
Jonte, wacha kuota. Mapenzi ni kukubali maamuzi ya mwenzako na Diana shaamua hakurudi tena.
Bado. Diana hajaamua. Diana amepotea njia.
Jonte, hujamuelewa. Hataki maskini. Hataki mtu ambaye hana pesa.
Yeye wacha kumharibia CV. Diana amepitia mambo mengi sana maishani mwake. All she wants is a soft life, which is fine.
Unamtetea. Hufai kutetea mtu ambaye hatakutaki.
Mimi najua vile nitapata Diana.
When you're finally released from pain. That moment when you start to get back to ordinary, and ordinary feels amazing. Whatever pain you're going through, release starts here.
People come to me and they say they get discomfort when they have ice cream. Can you imagine that? Avoiding having cold ice cream. Sensodyne gives you long-lasting protections against sensitivity. And people come in and they're like, oh, it works. I can have ice cream and I'm not in any discomfort. I recommend Sensodyne because it works. It's brilliant.
There's a kind of bank assurance intermediary that really allows you to relax because you know you'll be good. That's Coop Bank Assurance Intermediary for you. Get covered real good through Coop Bank Assurance Intermediary.
Panda tukupandishe on your entertainment this new year on GoTV. Bila kulipia extra. Furahia the best sports, international shows na local shows una like free. Download GoTV Stream. GoTV. Love it.
Ufanya nini jikoni?
Kazi zangu.
Kwanza unapika nini? Na ulianza lini kupika?
Natengeneza face mask.
Nashangaa mayai zangu zimekuwa zikienda wapi? Kumbe ni wewe unachezea huku. Nashangaa. Wataka kurembeka huku? Furahisha nani? Wataka kunigonga? Nimekuuliza swali. Unajipambia nani? Ama umepata mwenzako? Muone. Riziki! Riziki!
Madam, ndio mimi huyu hapa.
Kuja hapa. Naona umeshindwa kufanya kazi yako kwa hii nyumba. Mbona waacha watu wakuje kwa kitchen kuharibu vyakula?
Nimekuwa watu.
Riziki, unaona hapa kama kuna pesa ya kutupa?
Anti, pesa si zako. Wewe ungekuwa na pesa huko.
Funga hiyo mdomo yako. Riziki, nataka ukwe makini sana kwa hii kitchen yangu. Unanisikia?
Ndio madam.
Hebu toa huyu mtu hapa. Kisha uje usafishe uchafu kwa hapa. Shika.
Mimi nitampiga na niongelesha vibaya.
Pauline, usitake shida na mama Alex. Nitakuonyesha mahali pazuri ufanyie kazi yako, sawa?
Sawa.
Jonte. Ni nini sasa kisu? Jonte,
niache
kazi gani?
Sitaki kudhuru wewe na mtoto wako.
Tulia basi.
Niache, mimi kifo kinaniita.
Jonte, ushafikiria mama na dada watafanya nini ukifa? Watatoa wapi amani?
Amani gani? Si mimi ndo nimekuwa shida hii familia. Niko na maana gani mimi kama Jonte?
Hata kama huna maana, ili wakuone kama uko hai kuliko kama umekufa.
Si wewe huko? Wewe si huko? Wapatie pole zangu. Mimi nitalipa dhambi zangu huko mbele ya haki.
Umeamua hivyo?
Ndio.
Jonte. Yaani mimi mume wangu ameniendea kinyume na rafiki yangu. Unafikiria mimi siumi? Unafikiria mimi siumi? Unafikiria mimi moyo wangu ni wa chuma? Basi kama kujua ndio dawa, tunywe sote.
Unasema nini wewe? Hebu niache.
Jonte! Jonte, subiri, ngoja.
Unamaanisha nini?
Si unataka kufa? Haya basi tufe sote.
Alisha, kuna mtoto.
Alex Mane ana haja na mimi, ana haja na mtoto. Niambie ni maana gani? Maisha na maana gani? Tukufe sote basi.
Alisha. Alisha. Alisha.
Niache. Niache niondoke, mimi nimechoka.
Alisha. Jonte.
Niache.
Mimi sikuachi mpaka unipatie hicho kisu.
Mimi niacheni, mimi nataka kwenda, niacheni.
Alisha, unataka kufanya nini sasa?
Niacheni, mimi nataka kwenda, niacheni.
Sasa ninafanya nini tena?
Nyinyi hamtaniua na pressure. Kwani kila siku ni nyinyi tu?
Star Times. Enjoy digital life.
Step up to more fun and get more than you pay for. Upgrade now and get boosted to the next package for free. Dial *423# or call 0711 066 000 and upgrade to the next level for free.
We are asking the one question: is there a place for young people in agriculture?
They are used to unload dirty and hopeless person as a farmer. But I believe as the young people of Africa, we are the one who are going to change this story.
We have built a farmers network of around 100 acres up to now, of which we sell the onions to the Nairobi market, and we're looking forward to doing more in the onion value chain.
At the moment, agriculture is not considered very attractive for the young people. We need to make it much more attractive than ever before. There are opportunities to do that, especially in terms of mechanization.
The youth would find what to do in the processes in agriculture, in the processing, in the distribution, in technology there and the innovations that are possible in agriculture.
Micro, small and medium-sized businesses are a vital cog in the engine that is Kenya's economy. There are an estimated 8.4 million such businesses spread across the country. They contribute an estimated 30% of total economic output and employ an estimated 15 million Kenyans. Unfortunately, 7 out of 10 micro, small and medium-sized businesses closed within the first 3 years of operations. How can you place the sustainability of these businesses at the heart of Kenya's economic agenda? NTV brings you Thamani, a weekly show focusing on the micro, small and medium-sized business landscape in Kenya. Thamani, showcasing resilience and exploring scalability.
NTV, turning on your world. The following program has been rated PG. It may contain scenes unsuitable for children under the age of 10.
Amor, amor.